All right, yogis. So let's start right into something today. We've been starting on the back very often lately, but when you're thinking of fundamentals in this different position, let's start with our cat-cow. Deepen the breath. Inhale, arch the back, and exhale, round the spine. And get into your cat-cow here for about a minute. If you want to do anything like reversing your wrists, active cat-cow, or after a few linear forward and back cat-cows, maybe a little bit more circular. Let's use this to kind of wake up the core, all right? The pelvic tilt, the lower back, the abs. All right, this next little warm-up is for the side bodies. We did this a few days ago, walking your hands over to the right, keeping your hips up kind of over your knees. Left arm reaches away from left hip, hips lean back a little bit. You can move in and out of this. You can also pause. You'll go back over to center to the left side. Right arm reaches away, hips kind of drop back and down. So you should feel a really big lengthening through your side body. Okay, last few side to side. Nothing too strenuous, right? So we do that a lot in child pose. This is a little bit more of the bigger stretch variation here, but similar. Okay, we're using the upper body movement over to the side and the arm reach and the hip drop back to create the longest side body lengthener. Okay, so we're starting with a few of these fundamentals today, guys. We'll meet back in center. First one here for the knees, elbows, shoulder, major joints, and the hips. Press your left foot, right hand down. Inhale, lengthen. So I'm just going to stay basic for now. Okay, we're just going to really work on the extension pattern. Exhale, left hand, right knee down. Strong core back. Inhale, left leg and right arm. And exhale. Now, go ahead, do a few more. Remember, some days you pause and hold it. Some days you move a little faster. Some days it's kind of in between. You're moving, but a pause, and then you go to the second side, right? Remember, you can do this in plank if you want to go really strong. We also do it with the left toe, the knees tucked. So if you wanted to go really big, toes tucked, knees hover, and you go opposite leg and arm. Okay? So I just mentioned some different variations so you can make it more fun or change it for your level. In really gentle yoga, we would just do the leg in case that serves you this morning. So, don't feel pressure to do too much. So next variation is the first big twist. It is that full range thread the needle. Think of that first core rotation and horizontal movement in the arms. Horizontal adduction, okay? Right arm is going to go underneath left. We're just in warm-up mode. You're kind of going through some of these all regulars today. Inhale, right arm up and open. Shouldn't be too strenuous yet, right? Exhale and inhale. Okay, right arm underneath, shoulder toward earth. Inhale. Notice my head is moving with the arm. So I kind of look left as I go down under, and I look up to the right as I lift up and open. I'm not alternating sides. It is a repetition on one side. Remember not to overstrain, yogis. Warm up, we're not really going for peak strength or flexibility. It's more to increase blood flow, just like you might, do a light jog before you lift weights or something. It's not for strength or flexibility. It's more for blood flow and heat, body temperature, turning your nervous system on. Second side, when you're ready, no rush. If you're holding the pose, exhale, inhale. Last few. And depending on how you're feeling, if you like a number, you can try to get to 6. The big standard, you're looking more towards 12 to 15 per side. All right? All right, now please take your time. We're gonna do something today, we don't do this that much, but it is really good stuff. It's gonna be our first plank hold. I'm just demoing, you take your time catching up here. And we didn't do the knee into the body. We're gonna do that now, but in plank today. You can do it on the knees as well. If you'll watch me just for a moment, I'm gonna tuck the toes, okay? Find my high plank, right knee, left elbow, plank, left knee, right elbow. So it just looks like this, right? Right knee across, under. I'm bringing the left knee under across to the right elbow. I'm not doing right knee, right elbow yet, okay? So it's the cross under. Right knee, left elbow, left knee, right elbow. And I'm crossing, okay? If that's too much, just hold plank. I'm just adding something to our plank pose, all right? Planks are pretty good for your core, right? They're not going to hit your core too much, but pretty good for full body as well. All right, now listen, we're going to do a counter pose. So it's a back bend, hands, arms behind us. So knees bent down, rise up. So we're going to start in camel today. Think stretching the front body. Arms were here, now they're bent behind us. Fingers on the hips, face up, camel pose, hips forward and down, chest lifts up. Try to relax here, don't go your deepest. See if you can maybe find a way to be in the pose a little longer by not going in deep. Hold the belly in, lift the heart. Notice if you arch your back. It's the same thing here, yogis. We don't want, as bridge, we don't want to arch our back. It's a subtle anterior tilt that can happen. The pubic bone is the lowest frontal pelvic bone, right above your genital area. And you want that to kind of go forward and slightly up. Okay, that's the posterior tilt. So as we do hip extension, spinal extension, we're in the posterior tilt. All right, guys, now listen, we're going to do back down to tabletop. I want you to think of this as a counter. Another round of what we just did, but we're going to go on the forearms, okay? Just to give your wrists a break, but now we're going to do knee to same side arm. So we're going to come into our forearm plank. Right knee, right elbow. Forearm plank, left knee, left elbow, plank, alternating, a few more. I like to inhale into plank, exhale into the elbow to forearm. So just to be clear, if you weren't clear, the first one was this, knee across. Now the second one is knee to the sides. Okay, while you hold that upper body plank, last few, come on, keep going if you can. Still kind of in warm-up mode, but more like the second tier. Remember, I often say this class is a little bit of a hybrid, right? A fusion of some fitness modalities brought into the yoga classes where we're still working that kind of mind-body meditative awareness. It's okay to skip a lot, right, guys? All right, let's slowly camel posture whenever you're done, right? A stretch, releasing kind of some of this front body. Hands on the hips, fingers up, butt down, pubic bone. So this is the anterior tilt I was talking about. Pubic bone more forward. See that? Here, okay? Here we go. So today we will have a little bit more emphasis on planks. It's been quite a few weeks. I've been really doing a lot of back work. So we'll stay around there. Let's keep going here, yogis. Grab your blocks if you need. Right foot steps forward. Just think of a gentle stretch for the inner thighs after moving those legs a lot. Front knee over front heel. Lift the chest. Descending your hips down and forward. Chest lifts up. Remember, a lot of this core stuff can tighten up the psoas, and that's why I'm kind of throwing this in here right now. Those two knee to foreheads, or knee to elbows, those can really tighten up like the hip flexor area, right? Quick hamstring stretch. Right leg straightens, hips stretch back. Right hip back and down, press your feet down, start to forward fold. Try to flex that right foot a little bit more. Please go slow. Simple right knee bend, right leg back, shake it out. Left foot forward, hips descend forward and down. Remember, front knee over front heel, unless you have the intention to compress the ankle. Hips forward and down, chest up and back, pelvic floor squeezing, navel, abdomen pulling in. So this one I'm using a little bit more for the right leg, the front of your upper right leg, okay? This one, next part, is the back of your left leg, okay? Left hip back and down. We're doing this today, guys, because we're gonna do the squat kriya soon. We're coming up off the ground, all right? Left hip back and down, feet press down, left foot flexes, chest forward folds. At your pace, we'll bend the knee, leg goes back, downward dog. Blocks off to the side, toes tuck. I would use this to get into your feet a little bit more. You know, feet are, we're on our feet all day and they're kind of stuck in shoes. So it's good to always have the intention to free them up a lot in yoga practice or whatever physical activities you're doing. So, you know, always use this pose to get into those feet a little bit more, right? A little bit of functional movement. And then once you're feeling good there, let's hold our inversion, a few deep breaths in and out the nose, trying to let the head hang low, lifting those sit bones up and back. Remember, your knees can be bent. You're working on straightening the arms more. The hips are driving up and back and away from the hands. Inner hands press down, elbows straighten. Remember, there is a thing called torque strength or rotational quality stabilizations, where the upper outer tricep is rolling kind of down, under, and in. That's a lateral or external rotation in the shoulder, but a pronation in the hand. So you press your inner hand down and the upper outer arm kind of rolls down and under. It's the same thing in like chaturanga. You're trying to help you hug your elbows in, right? Or crow or wheel. Now the hips do the opposite. It's actually a internal rotation. So your inner thighs this is a tough one. Inner thighs roll back and out. Anytime, if you can learn rotational stabilization or strength, it's called torque in some circles, rotational strength, it can really change all your yoga poses, make them like way easier. If you don't stabilize on all three planes, you're not nearly as strong because that's where the body's going to give. All right. So that's a key thing to start understanding. You know, let's say forward and back, side to side, and rotational. That's the three planes. Okay. All right, guys, walk your feet to the front of your mat when you're ready. Try to stay inverted, please, which means head below your heart. So take the forward bend at the front of your mat, just a breath or two. Okay.
You're forward folding at the front of your mat. If you want to throw your arms behind you, big shoulder stretch or sway. Some of us might be ready to kind of pull on the feet today, or even, take your hands behind your head and tuck your chin. See, the way I do it is when I practiced last night, I know all those versions and my neck was feeling tight. So I went right to like pulling my chin to my chest with my hands in the forward bend and taking deep breaths into my upper back. So is there a best version? No, it just depends on what you do less of, what you feel like you need. So I'll mention those and then you can kind of choose.
All right, yogis, let's get to our second tier of class here. You're gonna bend your knees and rise up. We only did one kind of big twist. If you wanna do anything like this, it's one of my favorites. Pretty much do that multiple times throughout the day. So we are gonna do it today. We haven't done this squat kriya in a while. And it is a very traditional form. It's plank pose, let's say the child pose, or standing tall to squatting. Our arms are gonna reach forward, and I'm gonna try to get you to keep your arms parallel. So we're not gonna see this, we're not gonna see this, okay? Left hand, let's say on top of right. Feet are in a least resisted. I'll be clear, I do the squat sometimes narrow. I do it wider, but start in the less restricted space. All right, let's do this. Think of your body like a piston. Look at my knees, they stay over my toes. They don't buckle in. My heels stay down. Now, you don't have to go deep, yogis. Deeper will stimulate the glutes more, but deeper will tend to sacrifice postural form. Keep going, yogis, up and down now. Remember, you can do this fast. Do not look down. That is a really bad habit in general, not just in yoga, but looking down, is really bad for your posture. So try to look like at least parallel or like up slightly. When we squat with weight, you look up, right? Because you don't want to encourage the body to hinge forward. This is an anti-hinge, all right? It's not deadlift, it's not hinge. Up and down. Come on, you got 30 more seconds. You got to focus here, all right? Did mine last night, and I did a lot, all right? So on a good night, I will really push this to where I am begging for mercy, and I try to do a few more in there. You can go fast, yogis. If you always move your body slow, there pick days to move a little faster, okay? Nice, Brian. Nice, everyone. You guys feeling your arms too, right? So today we did some arm movements, right? So we're just holding those arms. Take a break, please. So a couple things we haven't been doing as much. This is that next big side body. This one's a more tension, which means as the muscles lengthen, they gotta like hold this weight. Arms go up. There's a special breath for this kriya. Intertwine your fingers. Let's turn our palms up. Squeeze the butt, the thighs. Now the legs stay straight, okay? And I reach up tall, big inhale. It's a double exhale out the mouth. Inhale, center, and exhale. And then you're gonna continue. Like I said, when I did this last night, I did 20 per side. And the first 10, the second 10 are so different than the first 10. You feel these big releases that were initially tight, all right? So get into it, stand up tall, don't look down, relax your traps a little, even though your arms are up, you're not here too much, just kind of a little relaxed here. And I did do a second set last night. I actually was doing this on one foot. It's a very difficult version if you want to try it. You will not nearly get as much side bend, but you add balance to all poses that you get. You basically add less stability to anything, and that's going to be more core and, let's say, more neural challenge. That's all. It's all about that, yogi. It's all about making your mind and your body like think, confused. Like, how can I figure this puzzle out? He wants me to side bend on one leg and pulse my exhale. It's the puzzle. It's not about doing it perfect. It's making the brain work because all those neurons starting to connect better. All right, now when you're done with that first round, take a little moment here, neutralize. See how we did forward and back, side to side, and then this would be like a neutralizer, the third plane of movement, rotation. We got one more squat Kriya now, all right? I'm only doing about a minute and a half. In the true squat Kriyas, we're doing about 6 minutes, 2 rounds, and you are just pouring sweat, keeling over, okay? But we're doing, we won't be too crazy now. Right hand on top of left. We're doing the classic here. You know, we've been doing this version. We've been doing the arm swings. Remember, we did this version. We did this version. So here's that stiffer arm. Right hand on top of left. Shoulders back and down. Here we go. Like a piston in the engine. You guys know your engines, right? There's this little thing that fires the piston and then helps the your wheels move, right? So come on, let's focus here. If you had music, I would say turn it up because I had my headphones on, but you're going up and down. You're remembering right now, I want to get stronger. I need this for my bones, for my big muscles supporting my body. You don't have to go deep, especially if you're coming off injuries and surgeries, especially if your body's a little tired today. The goal is to move those legs with weight on. Come on, yogis. I'm looking at the clock right now. You're over halfway. Yeah, nice. You can even go down, like, you know, do a little pulse down there. So you go down, you do like an extra little pulse, then you come up, you go down, do an extra little like medium one, and all the way up. That's a nice little option. You should start to really feel it in your arms too, the front of your shoulder. Nice. Last 13, 12, 11, 10. Finish strong. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job there, everyone. There's your squat Kriya. You're probably sweating. And where you're going to feel that mostly is probably your thighs. Like I said, you see me, I go deep because that's glute. You hear people a lot in those who don't do full squats. It's just a trend. But I always full squat, you know, it hits the butt way more. The butt, in case you don't know your glutes, okay? Take a moment. So instead of doing the lateral, what we just did, I think we did this a few days ago. I do this pretty much in my warm-ups, like almost every time I work out strong or practice strong. It is the lateral triangle. Now, the first thing we did is a big lateral flexion, it's called. Your spine is side bending, but this one isn't so much. It's more of a lateral leg movement and a pelvic tilt, okay? So doing these two together is very well-rounded. Triangle, feet are at least 3 feet apart. Back, left toes angle right, right toes angle right. This one doesn't alternate sides. You can do it like that, but it's a little bit more awkward. Drop your right hip down, lengthen out, a lateral hinge. Hinge means it happens at the hips, not the spine. Inhale and exhale. Yogis, this is a big movement. Okay, this can make your back sore. So if you're new to it, it looks like that. See how my spine stays long? Come on, you gotta engage your legs. You gotta feel the integrity of your core. I am not going forward or back at all. I am literally completely moving lateral to the side. Last few. Not gonna let you do too many of these. You can get like, if you're new to it, you get some like tension here and stuff. All right, some just tightening. Remember, right toes are turned out. It is triangle. My feet are not parallel because as soon as I do that, you're gonna eat more flex. The spine is gonna bend. Second side, please. Left toes turn out, right toes turn to the left. You got to find the path of least resistance, at least to start. Might as well make it easier on your body. Inhale and exhale is the concentric contraction. All right, let me see. Don't lean forward, please. I'd rather have you lean less to the side. Up. So some of you are doing, a lot of you look like you're laterally flexing. Let me show you. A lot of you are doing this. Watch the spine. See how it takes a side bend? That's not it. We just did that. It's tough. It's lateral tilt. So if you need the reminder, this is lateral tilt. Look at, see this? It's the pelvis is what's moving, okay? So now we apply that repetitive on one side, left hip down, and then the spine hinges to elongate with the pelvic. Tilt. See how it's the pelvis? This is not in any action. The other one we could do is this, right? Last few.
See, that's the trick in yoga. A lot of times, you know, we call it like alignment or postural corrections. The body goes into these like spinal bends, like arching the back and rounding your spine a lot. And we work out of these kind of unintentional actions of the body. All right. So that's a big part of this. And if it's not clear, no big deal. It takes a lot of time to learn this stuff, guys. All right. Get out of there, yogis. So we did our second round of lateral. Now we're going to go for the strong twist. If you've ever been in like a fitness class, sometimes you have like a weight ball and you go, this kind of is supposed to represent that, but I want those legs strong. We're not doing too much more legs. We're going to do our one-legged hinges in a moment, but this is our twist today. The big kind of what we call a fast switch. You want to move fast a little bit. The toes turn out, the knees bend. Our static chair, C-clamp bind. Look at my right palm facing away, left palm toward the heart, fingers intertwine, and they curl up together like a little C-clamp, right? Now, shoulders back and down. You're going to inhale one direction, exhale the other. Continue. Try to feel your core a lot, yogis. Pull your belly in a little bit, and you have your pelvic floor you got to engage. Remember, trying to teach your legs to work with your pelvic floor, pulling your belly in is really, it's all about teaching the body to like work well together. Yoga means together, right? Relation or connection, union. That's perfect, right? Your legs working with the core. Union, that's the same thing. So that's what we're working on. Slowing down with the mind and feeling more. Notice I'm inhaling, exhaling one side, okay?
We're gonna do one more round. All right, guys, so we need a little stretch here. Turn the toes parallel. Inhale, lift the heart, so straight leg. And here we're gonna forward fold. It's kind of like a little break. If you have a headstand or a handstand at the wall, that might be good here too, okay? Hands go on the floor, pulling on that floor, trying to relax the back of the neck.
If you have a headstand, tripod is a little bit more classic from this position. Hands plant parallel between the feet. Forehead down, rolls to the crown. Press through hands, lift heels, and the legs start to go up. Just a few more breaths. When you're ready, let's do our one more round here. This is our big, huge rotation. Remember, there's the rotations we do where we kind of crunch and twist. They call it like a micro rotation. This is the true path through the full like core rotation. Just to be clear, you can get sore from this. So like right in here, you don't want to like jam it. Okay, so it's now I'm going to get back into my goddess feet, right? Come on, we need those strong legs, yogis, and this is part of our glute training today. Opposite C-clamp, right hand toward the heart. Now, I was inhaling, exhaling. Now I'm going to go inhale here, exhale here. Or opposite, whatever you did. We call this breath Bhastrika. It's not Kapalabhati, right? So Bhastrika is inhale, exhale, inhale. Whereas Kapalabhati, skull cleanser, is just exhale. This is the inhale and the exhale, okay? Pumping the abdomen in as you kind of breathe and twist. Go ahead. Trying to go for about a minute. So, you know that the longer the stimulating of the muscle is the memory of how we're going to get the change. So try to find a way not to be so strained, right? Your shoulders, your breath is a little lighter, so it's not too strenuous. Sometimes we're like kind of too aggressive with the breath. Now feel your core, please. Another way, like people describe this, is like you're push on the inhale, you pull your right elbow back. On the exhale, you pull your left elbow back, right? But again, you might feel that around your lower back if you're not used to like twists like this. You know, it's okay to skip stuff. I really don't mind. We're doing a lot anyway. When you're done, guys, slowly get up out of there now. Shake it out a little bit. I'm going to do a different forward bend. We did parallel forward bend, wide-legged forward bend. Let's do the one-legged hinge. I'm just going to be still now. Warrior 3 hold. If you want to go big, you can go standing split or even a little handstand hop. But let's hold our one-legged hinge. This is one we got to kind of do regularly. Hands could go on hips. If you want a little bit more, you could try reverse prayer for your shoulders, fists, elbows, or walk your hands up, turn your hands together. Really strong as arms up, okay? Left foot hovers. Keep the pinky toe facing down on that left foot as you start to hinge and lift your left leg up. Now we're just going to hold here. Dropping the left hip down, lifting the left leg up, straightening the left knee. How about we point the left toe today? I like to work a lot of active kind of pointing of the toes. It's done a little less in yoga. Last few breaths, first side. Yeah, standing split's a fun option here, yogis, and go into a little handstand hop. There's also a posture called toppling tree. It's kind of like standing split, but without your hands on the floor. So usually the toppling tree, it's kind of like a locust, a warrior 3, but your chest comes down lower and your leg lifts higher. Or you can always put your hands on blocks if you need. You can always bend your bottom knee. But that body is trying to stay sturdy in your core. We're not rounding the spine here. All right? I don't want to see this, yogis. You see this a lot in yoga, okay? Same thing. Don't let that spine do things without your intention. It's just like life. We don't want to sit at the dinner table like this, right? We start to notice it more if we're being aware in yoga of it, okay? Second side, when you're ready, shake out your arms. See a lot of you doing some, your own thing there. A few of you we're doing your reverse prayer. Fists, elbows. And ready, second side, left foot down, right leg goes up. So remember, the legs are a little bit more straight after the goddess. These are bent. We also did the squat kriya. So legs, eventually your standing leg is locked. Your knee will lock, but it has to be very active. So the muscles right above the knee are kind of lifting up. Those are the knee stabilizers here. All right. So if your knee hyperextends, which means over straightens, that's a different story. You fall into like the exception to the rule, right? Where you need to keep a micro bend in your knee. Some people's knees bend too much and they will actually bow backward. Just notice that about yourself. If that's the case, you do have to keep a micro bend, like this little bend. So that's what I'm trying to get you to do. I'm watching you guys and I'm waiting until I see most of you stop. That's how you're gonna get better at anything, is by basically training to failure. You have to go to that edge and the body goes into almost like extreme mode, emergency mode. And then that's how you're going to really signal the body to, develop more muscle, connective tissue density, and bone density. All right. When you're done there, stand up, please. Last two things standing, okay? Not too much balance today. You only got a certain amount of time. I want to do our transverse abdomen training. I think we did it like 2 weeks ago. First one here, guys, arms up. Now, I want you to really reach up. This is kind of like part of our balance, right? But the main goal is to skinny your waistline. You're actively pulling in. So
your lower belly is gonna cramp. You wanna pull your navel in against the spine and up, and suck your side bodies in, back, lower back, lifting, lifting. Now shift the weight to one foot, lift the left knee, pull the belly in more, lift up. Everything is gonna cramp, like here and here, because that's the transverse. Now put your left foot down, keep the belly in, lift the belly higher. Lift the right knee now. So lift the right knee higher, pull the belly in more, arms stay up, pull the belly in, lift it up. You should feel cramping. The goal is to pull that abdomen in and hold it as long as possible. Okay, and then you put that foot down and you lift up. I tend to do about 3 to 6 per side only when I'm doing this. I did it this morning. First thing I did, kind of waking up. I have a couple other ways I do it, but this is a way I really like you guys to work it, because psoas, hip flexor, the strongest hip flexor, it connects to transverse abdomen. So you kind of get a double stimulation. All right, that's always a good way to build strength. Does everyone feel it? Is your lower kind of deep abdomen, even your lower back, a little almost cramping, it feels like? Okay. The whole goal is not to just stand on one leg and lift the knee. The whole goal is to pull your navel in as actively as possible, in and kind of up. All right. When you're done there, take a little breather. Okay. So we're doing my 2 favorite transverse abdomen trainings. We also did this one. So that's going to be very transverse in nature. All right, so we're going to do the opposite. So I usually consider that, I didn't mention the breath there, but that is like the inhale hollow, okay? Now it's the exhale hollow. I think we did this last week, if I remember correctly. You're going to take a deep inhale. You're going to exhale maximum. I can't really, I'm going to just describe it first and then I'll demo. So you want to bring your feet wide and your hands on your knees. I like to kind of push down into my knees. Notice I'm not getting like here, lazy. Okay, I do want to let the abdomen kind of relax a little. Feel how that tugs on the lower back a little bit. Don't arch your back either. So you're going to take a big inhale. If you ate breakfast already, probably, maybe skip this. Exhale all the way out. You have to hold your breath out. So you're not going to inhale at that point. You're going to hold your breath out. So empty lungs. Tuck your chin to your chest to close the airway. And then you're going to try to feel the sensation of pulling your navel, your abdomen in and up. Let me give you a quick demo. Okay. Now again, I did this morning because I had 32 ounces of water already, and that's also still too much, really. But even if you do it a little bit, if it hurts a little in the abdomen, that's good actually. Okay. Activating weak muscles hurts. So let me see you try again. Try to relax your shoulders from your ears, okay, and make the neck comfortable. It's one of those puzzles you got to figure out in the body. Don't worry, your body will figure it out. I've known so many people who couldn't do this initially and now can. All right. Inhale deep, take a breath in between. Eventually you're going to exhale. Remember, you do want to exhale maximum because the more air you have in, the lower your diaphragm is. That's the biggest breathing muscle, kind of right above the stomach there, right below the heart and the lungs. And as you inhale, the diaphragm goes low. Right? You can't do this with a big inhale in. The most advanced version of this, actually, they call it the winged ribs, where you start to move your ribs. You do some on the inhale there, but we really need to work the bottom of the exhale, hold, pull the belly in. Last try. Nice, you're doing the pumping, Darlene. That is a variation. I'm just trying to get people to hold in. We also have the narrowing on the sides, and then the churning, the nauli. There's a lot of different things we do here, but this is the basic, just trying to hold it in, yogis. And it's really good for breath holding practice, like lung strength and digestion. Really good for your organs here as well. All right, guys. So when you're done there, it's more about consistency. Let's not do 1,000 in one day, okay? Let's make our way down to the ground here. Nice job with your standing yoga. Yogi squat might be nice. Okay, so widen your feet. Just drop the butt down here. Take a moment. We did enough straight leg stretching. Don't need to go there. All right, now we're going to do last 2 plank rounds. We did 2 earlier. two different types of planes of movement, all right? I'm not doing chaturanga this today. If you want to add those in, that's always awesome, all right? We're going to step back to our plank pose. Now it's straight leg. And today I want you to go really slow and work side plank entries and exits. So heels go left slowly, pause. Fingertips of right hand, pause. Right hand hovers, pause. Right hand reaches out to the right, pause. Right arm goes up, pause. Chest turns more to the sky, pause. Left hand to the sky, pause. Right hand out to the side, pause. Right hand hovers an inch, pause. Right hand down, heels stay to the left, pause. You see how I'm breaking it down, like really a lot more detail? And then heels come back to center. Second side, heels to the right, pause. Left fingertips, pause. Left hand hovers an inch, pause. Left hand out to the side, pause. Left hand up to the sky, pause. Left arm up and open chest more to the sky, pause. Left arm high, pause. Left arm out to the side, pause. Left arm down, hovered an inch, pause. Fingertips down, pause. Hand down, pause, heels stay to the right. Heels back to center. So we're trying to break this down into as many like subtle body forms as possible. If you want to move even more slow, we do that in the more advanced classes where you have everyone move 1 inch. So you kind of start in high plank and you say the most smallest movement towards side plank, pause. And I'd actually have them pause a little longer. You know, you'd really, in the advanced class, you try to just, everyone's strong and knows every pose. They're really good at high plank and side plank. But what about all that little space in between? Is high plank and side plank better than that? No. We want to look for where our weaknesses are. So this is our side plank round of class. Remember, we did big lateralizing movements. Now it's kind of very tight, all right? So last few tries, somebody did a nice job. Just try to slow down a little bit. Oh, you can do this on the knees, yogis, right? Don't forget that. Nice, Stephen. So if you're gonna do it on the knees, just don't forget, there's many ways to do this on the knees actually, right? So you're here, you're going out, you can even start to shift to one knee, and I'm starting to slowly shoot the left leg back, coming into more of this side plank. And just to make it more strengthening, you could hover the back leg. The true knee variation looks like this though. Knees and forearms. Knees to the feet to the right, left forearm gets light, right forearm turns in, okay? And I'm starting to roll to my left side, left arm goes up. It's just a slow movement. It's a little awkward to do it on the knees though. Last few tries. And when in doubt, yogis, just hold side plank. That's okay. We do that most of the time. It's okay just to hold side plank, guys. Remember, in fitness and in yoga, side plank is a peak side body strengthener. There's not that many great body exercises that the mass can do for the side body. This is a really, it's almost as difficult as you can make the side body exercises, just holding side plank and adding any advanced version, okay? Now, I want you to take a moment here, guys, and, shake that out a little bit. Now, I want to do one more plank pose. Since I'm doing a little less on the back today, this is supposed to represent the hollow body, what we call like the triple chain. It's where like your arms work with your core, work with your legs in the tension. So it's called extended plank. We did this maybe a few weeks ago, and then, we've done it like in another Zoom here and there. But basically, you're going to get in high plank. Last plank hold. If you want to do push-ups or something, that's always good too, if you're not getting that in enough. So your arms are going to basically walk forward. So it's the longest plank you can. It's a little funky at first. You're not going to be able to hold very long. Let me just show you just what this is. It's this, but with weight now, okay? So this, but in plank. So you're in plank, and you walk those hands forward, and you hold here, and you work on pulling your belly in engaging your thighs. Am I anterior tilted? No, I'm actually posterior tilting. So I'm using my pubic bone movement, pubic bone toward the navel,
to create more strength in the lengthened tension. Remember, tension is like, as my muscles are lengthening, I have to hold that weight, all right? So extended plank is kind of filling in our last triple front body. You know, we do arms wide too. We do like the wide plank, wide arms, wide legs. I like that one too. I'm not using that because it's pec major and not going for that as much here. You're not going to get as much symmetrical front line tension. Just breaking out a few things we haven't, been doing a lot of as of recent, all right?
All right, yogis, listen. How about we take it down to the chest? I see a lot of you are done there. Just one round is good. So one moving plank, transitionals planks, and then one static. So cobra, just to kind of reset here. Elbows hug in, shoulders back and down. Press your feet down, pubic bone down, lift the heart. So this is called Cobra 1, don't forget. A little more active. Some of us might want to stretch more. Cobra 2. Quick child pose if you need, or down dog. All right, yogis, so we're going to do something a little different here today. So I'm not going to do bridge and wheel. We've been doing that a little bit lately. I'm going to do the mobility. So this is super core. And it's funny because you wouldn't think of this as like a glute trainer or a hip trainer like the bridges, but it's actually quite similar. There's active sukhasanas today, okay? So the right shin crosses in front of the left. This is also great for flexibility. The right shin in front of the left, just notice my ankles are not crossed with my shins. My shins are forward in space, so they're kind of parallel to the edge of my mat. They're not angled under like this. They're actually forward more, parallel, so you can actually see a triangle on your inner thighs and calves. I do have to flex my feet and like press my feet down. Now, you start with your hands on your spine. You're not going to round your spine here. You're going to inhale forward, pause, keeping my spine long. Work on pressing the outer edges of the feet down, pulling the belly and lengthening the core, and then you're going to come back up by pressing through the feet, working the back, okay? So I'm going to inhale halfway forward. If you want more, your arms can go wide or behind your head. The more my arms go out or forward or up, you're going to get more lever weight, it's called. It's going to be more difficult. And you're going to come back up, okay? Inhale, pause, exhale up. We haven't done this in a while, and it's really fantastic work. I want you to try to get to 6 to, like I say, 12 in here on this side. You're going down, you're pausing, working the subtle body awareness and activation, and then you're coming back up. This can be very difficult, if you lack lateral rotation. You see, I'm not that good at letting my hips open like that. My knees lift a lot. But you can still work it here by pressing the outer edge of the feet down. Remember, ankles don't cross, shins cross, okay? Don't round the spine. It's okay if your body just hinges a couple inches. That's fine. Maybe you bring your hands behind the head and make it a little more difficult. Just try not to tense here too much, right? Not too much pressure in the head if you're here. So I like to say like your fingers just touch. You don't have to intertwine. You just kind of here. All right. Now you're going to shake your legs out a little bit. And then second side. Remember, we already did multiple big front body stretches, right? We did Cobra, Anjaneyasana, which is low lunge, and camels. We did a lot of big front body stretches already. So we're trying this here in the end. Left shin in front of right, flex feet, press feet down. I like to inhale forward, pause, maybe take a breath or two, and then back up, please.
Does everyone feel it in those hips? This is mobility drill. I used to call this class yoga core mobility. I've kind of scratched that out, but this is the definition of mobility. Maintaining strength through range of motion and movement. And in case you're taking this too serious, here's my goofy little puppy, just to give you a smile, okay? She didn't like that. She was napping. She was napping after her 10 hours of sleeping overnight. So, I want you to remember things like this for your core. Don't just think abs, like isolating it, like abs and even just lower back and obliques. Tension on the hips is key. I do this in hinge. This is a hinge, but be clear, right? We do it upright a lot, and we did it in Warrior 3 just now. Don't forget things like this, yogis. This is really awesome stuff, and I should be teaching this more often in this class. I go through just trends of how I instruct and what I'm doing in my own practice. So, always throw in, and I remember when I say throw in something that we haven't done that you feel like you need. We got one more go at this, all right? If our legs are bent and crossed, we want to straighten them and widen them as much as possible. We didn't do really that much inner thigh stretches. We did reciprocal inhibitions where the knees are bent, and then we straddle forward fold. Now we're going to try it here. Now, extra resilience in engaging your legs because they're not in front of you to catch you. So you got to engage your legs, sit up tall. Hands go here. Just notice like the fingers, a lot of weight. You're going to inhale forward. You're going to work on engaging your feet, your thighs, flexing your feet to the sky. You're going to hinge forward, pause halfway, or it might just be a tenth of the way down, right? You inhale forward. My spine is long. It's not rounding. I'm actually arching here. And then exhale back up. Inhale. Exhale. And a lot of as far as functionality, stretching like this tends to be considered more relatable to normal life as opposed to just a yin stretch like this. Even though there's some benefits there too, we tend to do this style less. Think of it like this, yogis. You're literally kind of going like this. You're right here right now, right? And you're trying to go here, 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 here. Now, it is different though, to do it upright and to do it seated. Now listen, yogis, I'm just looking at the clock. We're gonna finish this one round up. I don't want you to do too many. This can actually make you super sore, right? If you're new to it. So we're gonna do just a couple stretches here. If you wanna do one quick, like isolated abs, we did that the last like 4 weeks in a row where I'm like doing a lot of crunches, a lot of sit-ups, a lot of stuff on the back where we're like turning, pulsing, leg swinging. So if you wanna do anything like that, sit-ups, crunch, do it now, because I'm gonna kind of go to stretches, okay? We did some more of those like knees to elbows for that type of stuff today. So remember, always slow down in everything and try to get better muscular contraction awareness. Always try to like feel more. You will have more growth. You will have better what's called hypertrophy. Your muscles will take a nicer form and you will get better strength response. You will get stronger faster if you slow down and feel. It's like going to the gym. If you're like looking around, oh, look, what are they doing over there? And you're not paying attention to your exercise, you will not grow as fast as someone who closes their eyes. This is proven exercise science. You close your eyes and you really just get in that moment and feel your body connect to your target. All right. So I want you to practice that as a reminder here. Okay. So I'm going to start stretching. Those of you, I see a couple of you doing your abs. You keep going if you're feeling good. Okay. Now, our final part, big chest stretches, big front arm stretches, big hip stretches. I want to do the thigh. Sit it up, please. We did the forward bends. Now let's do the back bend. Let's do the hat virasana. Top of the right foot down.
right outside that hip, knees together, right sit bone down, and we lean back here. So a little bit more meditative stretching now, getting into that quad. You need it after your squat prio, okay? Yeah, nice. Inversions are welcome too, right? I tend to leave them out a little bit of this class. You want to go up into a headstand or a handstand at the wall. It's fantastic. Right foot releases and left knee bends. You should feel it in your ankle, shin, thigh, and maybe even your hip flexor if you're going back more, okay?
You know, that's the big question. Like, how do you train people to like pay attention? You know, I have a couple like private, well, I'm training one woman and I was training these kids for a little while and they're just so distracted, you know, so no matter how good your method is, their growth will be slow. How do you teach attention? Like, no, don't look over at the birds and the people over there. You know, look at your body, feel your body. Yogi say third eye, right? Like try to visualize what's happening. So when we say we're just doing a crunch, you in your third eye, you're like visualizing the muscle, like feeling it every detail with the third eye. So you get that inner vision going. But it's always been a quest to like, how do you teach presence and concentration? Because there's a famous book that I've read multiple times called The Power of Concentration. It was a life-changing book. Um, all right, so I want to do a final twist here, guys. Stretchy twist. So either seated, or I think it might be good to lay on your back here. Bring your knees into your chest for a moment. Release one leg, and then take the knee across. So a really big kind of torso twist. As far as twist, pretty good day of it. So one just releasing variation. Close your eyes, relax a little bit, and just relax and breathe. Yeah, other stretches are fine. And then whenever you're ready, you can switch up sides. So listen, yogis, you're going to finish up your twist and, a happy baby might feel good. If you want to throw a block under your body somewhere, or even like a plow pose, swing your legs up over a little bit. One last quick pose here, then we'll just take a couple minutes in meditation to close. It could be anything, anything you feel like your body needs to release. Yeah, nice. Even a little foam rolling. If my body feels really stiff and achy, the first thing I go is foam rolling. It's like before even movement. Wish I could mix that into some of these classes more. So listen, guys, whenever you're finished with your final exercise there, you know what to do. Find a meditative body stance and form, and just commit to calming the body, focusing your attention inward, being quiet and still. And, as the yogis say, practicing silence on many levels here. All right. So bringing your awareness in, letting your body rest, just kind of melting into the floor. All right. So our final pose, we're just going to go about 3 more minutes or so.